Wow, I thought I'll take a break for a week just so that I can catch up with like I so I started college and it's almost been a week. Like it started on Wednesday for some reason. Like I don't know what happened, but I've got that. I've got work. I've got on all these other things I do, and then I was like, no, I let me just adapt to this. Like waking, sleeping from 2 in the morning to 6:30. That enough. That amount of sleep should be enough, because obviously in the summer, I was in summer vacation from I think April to May, and at that time just did I just slept till like 10:30, and that was enough. That was 8 hours of sleep. Now I'm getting six, no, 5 hours of sleep, and I have to go to college. I have to go to work. I have to come home and do all these different things, and I have to do this for another 3 hours. So I was just kind of preparing myself for that. That's why this took so long. But anyway. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Aero Show. It is me, Aero, your host, and today we have a bunch of topics to cover. Obviously, this like 1 week where I took off. That week happens to have so many big events. Obviously, we have the whole Supreme Court overturning the Roe versus Wade 6-3, and giving the ability for state governments to make decisions on whether women are allowed to take abortions. Obviously, that's been a very high active topic recently, and now it's just blurred into popularity. Everyone was talking about it, and I seem to have missed that. Obviously, last week was VidCon, and we have stories about that. We have the whole Trump inauguration, and for all the stuff that happened on January 6th of 2021. We have a bunch of different stuff. We actually have a lot of topics. Yeah, what, one, two, three, four, 5, 6. Oh yeah, I thought this also happened. This was so huge. In fact, I did see a protest outside. Now this happened in Delhi. It wasn't that much of a protest. I did see a lot of these banners outside, and these posters put up about how terrible our government is, and it's obviously this pretty huge. We have some other topics, and yeah. We have a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about today. We have a whole week worth of news to catch up. And yeah. So I think we should just get started. We're already 13 minutes. Obviously, it's 11:13 in the p.m. at night. This show is going to go on for another 3 hours till around 2:15. And yeah, so we're going to start with the politics section of this live stream. Former White House assistant testifies to Trump's fury over the election on January 6th. So there's been a lot of news coverage about what actually happened on January. It was a huge, a lot of people stormed the White House, not the White House, the West Front in Washington D.C. after the while the election was going on. The election results were coming out, and the main goal of this is to find out whether at that time President and Trump is responsible for anything. So yeah, there's been a lot of coverage on this, and I hope I explained that well. You probably would have missed this, or you probably don't remember, or you don't care. But anyway, our first topic is, let me increase the give me 1 second. I think that looks alright. Why did I click that? Continue without supporting. All right. So our first story today is from CNBC, and yeah, former White House aide, which is assistant, testifies to Trump's fury or election. Says he lunged at Secret Service agent, threw plates in fits of rage. Okay, now a lot of people were talking about this, and we're going to get into this and the whole driver thing and take me back to the Capitol. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the building that they stormed was the Capitol. So yeah, this article is by CNBC. I'll have it in the description below after this live stream. So yeah, a former top White House aide testified Tuesday to then President Donald Trump fury over the 2020 election, telling lawmakers he lunged at a Secret Service agent who couldn't take him to the Capitol on January 6, 2021, and forced staff Vice President Mike Pence deserved chance from rioters, calling him to be hanged. Or I don't think I'm getting the correct meaning of this. Or do they actually wish for him to be hanging? I actually don't know about that. Anyway, let's just zoom in a bit more. Okay. Hutchinson's testimony came in at a surprise sixth hearing scheduled by the House Select Committee investigating the attack on the Capitol by a pro-Trump mob on January 6, 2021. The committee said last week that its final two hearings would come in July, but on Monday afternoon, it abruptly announced the latest hearing to present recently obtained evidence and to receive witness testimony. The committee blames Trump for conjuring the violent crowd and sending them towards the Capitol, and has strongly suggested he broke the law in doing so. So obviously the main thing about this is obviously the people who broke in obviously did break the law. Now the question is Trump responsible for any of this? Like, obviously he didn't say anything public about like, guys, go stop the go storm the Capitol and try and overturn the election. I mean, he did tweet some stuff like stop the count or whatever. So yeah, the panel has placed the former president at the center of a multifaceted conspiracy to overturn his losses to President Joe Biden in the 2020 election. Trump claims I hardly know, star witness in hearing. Trump slammed Hutchinson while also distancing himself from her in a post on social media platform Truth Social. So, if you guys don't know, Truth Social is a social media platform that is owned by Donald Trump. He started this after he was suspended on Twitter, which was actually around this time where he was trying to overturn the election, and he did get suspended on Twitter. I hardly know who this person, Cassidy Hutchinson, is, other than, and I heard very negative things about her, Trump said. So Cassidy Hutchinson is the assistant here who is testifying against Donald Trump. So yeah, he claimed hearing she was a total phony and a leaker without providing evidence. She is bad news. She claimed on the platform he has used since Twitter permanently banned him shortly after the Capitol riot. So, former Trump White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney said he believes Cassidy Hutchinson, a former aide to Mark Meadows, after she testified that Donald Trump was irate as he was blocked from marching to Capitol Hill on January 6, 2021. Obviously, he was blocked because it wasn't safe. It would break multiple safety guidelines, and it would cause a huge riot. So yeah, Hutchinson gave damning testimony to the House Select Committee investigating the Jan 6 riot on Tuesday, including that former President Donald Trump lunged at a Secret Service agent in a rage at the presidential limousine when he told he could not be taken to the Capitol while his supporters marched to try to stop the certification of the election results. So, Hutchinson basically said that Donald Trump basically pushed. I mean, I don't. They are not claiming assault here, so I'm not gonna use that term. But he lunged is pushing at a Secret Service agent. I think the Secret Service agent here is the driver in a rage because obviously he could not be taken to the Capitol. That is a massive safety risk, not only for Trump but for all the protesters and all the people over there. It would break multiple safety guidelines, and it could just cause a huge mess. Because if they're willing to break into a highly protected and highly confidential government building just to try and overturn the election. Imagine what they could do if he actually showed up there. No one knows, and it's actually really good that he didn't show up there because not only for his safety but for everyone's safety around there. Mulvaney, who was Trump's chief of staff before former Congressman Meadows took the helm, said in a tweet after Hutchinson's initial testimony that he believes her. Hutchinson worked for Meadows while he was chief of staff. I know her. I don't think she is lying. So Mick Mulvaney tweeted it on June 28, 2022, so almost exactly a day ago. My guess is that before this is over, we'll be hearing testimony from Ontario, Eagle, and the Meadows. This is explosive stuff. If Cassidy is making this up, they will need to say that. If she isn't, they will have to collaborate. I know her. I don't think she's lying. Personally, I also don't think this is lying. I mean, obviously, I think this is exaggerated. I'm trying to take both sides here in this. I mean, I don't think he obviously they're not claiming assault here, like he assaulted the Secret Service agent, but that is up to that is once again your point. And if you have any any thoughts, make sure to leave it down in the comment section below. Hutchinson previously said that Trump insisted to the Secret Service after his speech on January 6th that he wanted to go to the Capitol. I think that's his fucking, but I don't know. I'm the president, take me to the Capitol now. Trump insisted, according to Hutchinson, describing what she was told all happened in the limousine that day. So when he was denied, obviously he couldn't be taken to the Capitol. I've explained it as safety risk. He responded by saying, I'm the fucking president, take me up to the Capitol now. Okay. There's also a tweet here. I will have this tweet linked below. There's a dedicated, verified committee on Twitter about the January 6th riot. Just goes to show how big this entire thing was. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was okay. Anyway, Hutchinson said that in December of 2020, Trump threw his lunch and dishes against the wall. This dude has anger issues. Anyway, when he learned that former Attorney General William Barr and the Justice Department didn't find any evidence of widespread election fraud. So this dude got mad that there was no election fraud from Joe Biden, and he threw his lunches and dishes against the wall. You kidding? Okay. In the wake of his loss to President Biden, Trump began to claim without evidence that the 2020 election had been stolen from him thanks to the widespread voter fraud. His own attorney general later found that there was no evidence to support that assertion. As the news broke that the Justice Department had found no evidence to support his claims of election fraud, I remember hearing noise coming down from the hallway. Oh wait, I didn't explain this. So basically, Trump was trying to claim that the reason why he lost the 2020 election was because of voter fraud. Now, if you guys don't know what voter fraud is, you can actually Google it. And you'll find basically manipulating or rigging the votes. This can happen in multiple ways by threatening or persuading someone to vote, or changing or altering voting information. There are multiple ways that voter fraud can happen, and it's a pretty common issue in like smaller midtown elections, but it very rarely happens, especially at such a degree in such a big and big country with hundreds of millions of people. So yeah, as the news broke that the Justice Department had found no evidence to support his claims of election fraud, I remember hearing noise coming down from the hallway, Hutchinson said. He was probably a rage quit. Like, imagine throwing plates just because you lost an election. Total rage move, bro. Anyway, I left the office and went down to the dining room and noticed that the door was propped open and the valet was inside the dining room changing the tablecloth off to the dining room table. He motioned for me to come in and then pointed towards the front of the room near the fireplace mantel and the TV, where I first noticed there was ketchup dripping down the wall and there was a shattered porcelain plate on the floor. Now, basically, what there's she's just describing what happened. He threw a play because he lost at the election. Nice counter attack. Anyway, the valet had articulated that the president was extremely angry at the Attorney General's Associated Press interview and had thrown his lunch against the wall. He said something to the effect of, "He's really ticked off about this. I would stay clear of him right now. Clear of him for right now. He's really ticked off about this right now." So I guess Thomas Frank is the valet, or no? I think this is one of the people in the legal team. So Trump lunged at a Secret Service agent in a rage. Okay, we already discussed that. At the White House after the rally, the head of Trump's security detail, Robert Engel, was sitting and looking somewhat Jeez, what? Okay. Discombobulated. What the hell is that? Confused. Okay. That's a new word. If you learned that, then good on you. What the hell? Okay, discombobulated and lost, she said. Hutchinson said that the then White House official Tony Ornato asked her, Did you see what happened in the president's vehicle, the Beast?" So the presidential limousine is called the Beast. Okay. Original concept. Anyway, whatever. Ornato said that when Trump got into the car, he was under the impression from the Meadows that he was likely still going to the Capitol, as he claimed he would do in the speech to his supporters. When Angel relayed that they were not because it was not secure, Trump had a very strong and a very angry response to the Hutchinson. Tony described him as being irate, which is just being irritated. Hutchinson said Trump said something like, "I'm the fucking president, take me up to the Capitol now." Angel again refused, at which point Trump reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Okay, I actually didn't know that he... Oh no, wait, I actually know, wait. It's in the title, of course I know. Anyway, Mr. Angel grabbed his arms and said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off of the steering wheel or going back to the West Wing." Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Angel. Hutchinson said that she was told. He added that when Ornato told her the story, he motioned his hands towards his clavicles. Okay, this is a really long. Obviously, this is such a massive news story. Pat Clipone, the White House counsel to Trump, warned Hutchinson, "We're going to get charged with every crime imaginable if Trump went to the Capitol," she said. On January 3rd, Mr. Clipone and I had a brief private conversation when he said to me, "We need to make sure that this doesn't happen. This would be a legally terrible idea for us. We have serious legal concerns if we go up to the Capitol that day." Obviously these people knew that there are going to be protesters showing up to the Capitol. Well, obviously, not many people expected that the security would be so I wouldn't say incompetent, but over, like, what is the correct term? Like, there were too many protesters and they couldn't do anything about it, even if they called every defense officer from throughout Washington. So yeah, not many people would have predicted it would have gone this far wrong, but people did predict that, okay, people are going to show up. Obviously this was a very coordinated kind of protest. It was I think it was on the app called Parler, which is some kind of social media app where people were planning this whole event. Obviously, if you do it on an app like Twitter or Facebook or any of the big social media sites, it'll get immediately shut down. But on smaller ones like this that don't have much traction, it's easier to get stuff like this. And obviously, the Parler app did get banned, and now I think it is oh my, I need to stop hitting my mic. Okay, now I think it might be unbanned, but it was it was like taken off the Google Play Store and the App Store. So yeah, Hutchinson said that Clipone had warned in the days leading up to the attack on the Capitol that if Trump went to the protest, it will look like we are just obstructing justice. He was also concerned that it will look like we are initiating a riot or encouraging a riot. Even if he didn't show up there, it still was a massive riot that ended up with people, storming the Capitol and illegally breaking in. Trump wanted to take magnetometers away from the entrance to rally space near the White House in order to let armed supporters in on January 6, 2021, Hutchinson told the committee. Magnetometers are used by the U.S. Secret Service to detect hidden weapons. So Trump was angry that the crowd appeared smaller than he wanted for his rally at the Ellipse. Seriously? You are angry that the crowd appeared smaller? Okay. Which began shortly before a joint session of Congress convened on January 6th. He blamed the magnetometers, saying in a tent backstage that he wanted them removed to let more people in. You wanted a device that removes the ability to detect weapons that can harm someone. You wanted to remove that so that you can allow more people in. If people aren't allowed because of magnetometers, that means they're not allowed because they have a weapon. And if you're going to remove that to, in quotes, let more people in, you're letting people with... I can't believe this. You're letting people with weapons inside of a massive ground where there are literally thousands of people, and most of them are unarmed, distracted, tired, and a combination of all the three. He was angry that we weren't letting people through the mags with weapons. And okay, no, this is not the time to lose faith in humanity. Anyway, Trump then said words to the effect of, I don't fucking care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. They're not there to hurt you. They're there to hurt everyone against you. Which is majority of the crowd there, I think. I mean, majority of the crowd that, was behind, not in front, battling, just not many people trying to get into the Capitol were Biden supporters. Take the mags away, let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. Let the people in, take the fucking mags away. Okay, no. We're not going to sigh. We're not going to lose faith. We're going to be serious. Trump was furious that the Secret Service was screening people at his rally for weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the fucking mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. Why are your people coming to your coming to an election with an armed with a weapon that can seriously do harm or potentially even kill someone? If those are your supporters, then okay, no, I don't want to continue with this. Okay, Meadows didn't look up from his phone when Hutchinson said former Deputy Chief of Staff Tony Ornato believed the Chief of Staff on the kinds of weapon riders were carrying in during the mornings of January 6th. Yeah, it was such a disaster. There were so many cops and they were so badly outnumbered. We had people just throwing some kind of firecrackers. These people are heavily armed. They have sticks. Some of them had guns. They have protection. They even have pepper spray, and they still got thrashed. They weren't able to do anything. I mean, obviously they did a lot. They did a lot. They tried a lot, and obviously, I'm not going to downplay that. They did do a lot, and I want to thank them for not making a bad situation even worse. Because on that day, they didn't get into an area where government officials or Congress officials were there. They only managed to get into hallways, and inside security managed to block them off between entering um, any kind of restricted areas. And obviously, everyone inside the capital was informed about how bad the situation was. But still, this entire place, there were gates. These people are heavily, not heavily armed, but there were so many of them, and still they weren't able to stop. That doesn't go to show that this is a failure. That goes that this is a failure by the police. This just goes to show how bad the situation had gone. If these people were armed, if they had guns, if they had knives, not only would they have done serious damage to the defendants, they could have done damage to someone that they are along with. You can imagine just being hustled through this cloud and accidentally misfiring and shooting someone who is with you. This could have gone so badly wrong if we allowed people with guns in here. And if you, as a president, realize that your supporters want to come to an election with a weapon, you know that they are there to do a damage. They're there to overturn the results. So yeah. Anyway, this article just goes on, and obviously I cannot cover this whole thing. It's already 11:37, and we have just covered one topic. So yeah, if you want, you can read this article. Obviously, I will have this in the description down below. But anyway, man, like I'm not just trying to be like that, oh no, that extreme leftist Biden supporter or anything. I mean, now obviously I don't care. I don't live in this country. I live on the opposite side of the world. But it's just still so disappointing that people can be this so fucking stupid. Like, I mean, obviously this doesn't matter to me, and obviously it shouldn't matter to you if you don't live, but it's still such a like jaw-dropping event that happened, and it's still going on and being brought up even though it's been over a year. This happened in 2021. So yeah, these are my thoughts on this entire situation. Once again, I'll have this article in the description below, and thank you to CNBC for writing this article. Anyway, yeah, let's move on. Holy shit. Okay. Next up we have something even dumber. Okay, no, not even dumber. We have something that is dumb. We'll just put that. So Greg Abbott, the obviously head of state of Texas, is so a little bit of a backstory. Um, oh wait, I don't have an article about this. So basically, what happened was a truck was found on and in the bed of the truck. Obviously, there's a huge 18-wheeler, and in the back, a U-Haul, as you people call it. Obviously, in the back, there were a lot of immigrants that were found dead. And this, yeah, obviously, I don't cover stuff like this, but obviously it's a huge news. There are, so many people were dead, and, lots of things happen, and a lot of people are talking about it. We're not going to talk about it today because obviously it's a very, graphic or gruesome topic that I really don't want to get into now. But anyway, I should switch to light mode. I should also get a charger for my laptop because it's on 1%. I think I'm gonna get that. Meanwhile, you can read the Okay, I really hope my mic is working and I wasn't on mute that whole time. Okay, no, I can hear myself, alright. Okay. Hello? Please tell me I was not on mute that whole time. Okay, I don't think I am. Alright, no. Okay, I can hear myself. I was really scared. So, yeah. It was linked here, I forgot. So yeah, this article is by the Daily Wire. Obviously, I'm not going to get into this, but I'm just going to tell you at least 42 people were found dead inside truck carrying migrants in Texas. So yeah, we're not gonna go inside this. Obviously, I said it's very gruesome, very graphic, and I really don't want to get into this. So anyway, Greg Abbott responds in probably the most retarded way you could possibly think. At least 42 people found dead inside the truck carrying migrants in Texas. These deaths are on Biden. So already, not even providing any form of context, this dumbass is blaming it on Biden. Obviously, what do you expect from this dude? Anyway, they are a result of his deadly open border policies. They show the deadly consequences of his refusal to open enforce the law. Yeah, you can't just take a U-Haul and transfer it between countries. I think this is coming from Mexico because it's Dallas is south. I mean, Texas is south. You can't just take a U-Haul full of people and transfer it between countries. There are going to be checks on the way. Your very own Trump built a huge fucking wall. So yeah, okay. So you may be asking, how did I discover this? I saw Hassan tweet something about this. When the border is actually open to... you guys can't see that. Let me just zoom in. When the border is actually open to illegal immigrants, people aren't smuggled in hiding in trucks. And don't blame a tragedy on your political opponents like this. Bad faith and poor taste. Yeah, just blaming everything on Biden. Oh, you have this some stupid kind of event. Blame it on Biden. Blame it on Biden. Blame it on Biden. Yes, I get that he's the president, but the things that you're blaming him for are literally none of his poor actions. There is no way you could have done anything about this. Also, where is Hassan's tweet? I wanted to read Hassan's tweet. Where is Hassan's tweet? Okay, people don't stuff themselves in the back of an 18-wheeler when the border is open, you fucking animal. Okay, I don't think this was a tweet I saw, but I did see another tweet that was talking about this. Yeah, that's true. Open borders just doesn't mean you can't just take a U-Haul full of 42 people and go between a country. No, that's not going to happen. Not only is this not your fault? Since you are the government and you are the governor of Texas, it is your job to enforce these laws to make sure what's going on, what is being transported throughout your state. It is not anything on Biden's fault. Now, you can put this on the government if it is a recurring event. If so many people are being transported inside a truck throughout the country and people are dying, that's when you blame it. When it is one issue that happened in one state, you'll just immediately blame it on Biden. Oh, it's Biden's open border policies. What do you mean this is deadly open border policies? The whole entire goddamn country is based off of immigrants. If you're going to have closed borders and not allow people to freely move between countries, you are taking away the very thing that built your country. Like, how nationalist do you have to be that you loop back around? That how right are you that you go so far or to the right that you end up on the left? You are killing the very thing that made your country. If people are not allowed to freely travel into your country is going to die. What a dumbass takes. I mean, obviously people, I expect it from, like this. That's why I don't, I'm not going to really say anything, but it's just so retarded. Okay, anyway, that's the politics side done. Now let's move on to an even bigger topic, and a topic that I didn't have any involvement in this. Unfortunately, I didn't go and participate or see the protests or anything that happened around me. Obviously, I'm living in south of Delhi, so we did see something, but we didn't see much of it. So yeah, Indian police arrest a Muslim journalist accused of insulting Hindus. It was once again article by CNN Business. I will have it in the description down below. The Delhi police have initiated a prominent Muslim journalist, accusing him of insulting religious beliefs on social media in a move condemned by free speech advocates. Mohammed Zubair, co-founder of our fact-checking website Alt News, which debunks misinformation in the Indian media, was arrested Monday and remanded overnight remained overnight. Jeez, CNN Business, fix your that might be a word that I don't know and I look fucking stupid, but anyway. Said KPS Malhotra, Deputy Commissioner in Delhi Cybercrime Unit. Malhotra said Zubair was arrested under 2 sections of the Indian Penal Code relating to maintaining religious harmony. Zubair often tweets about the criticism of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP, for what he and other critics claim is a crackdown on the rights of country's roughly 200 million Muslims. His arrest comes amid repeat accusations by critics that the BJP is using colonial LR laws to quash any form of criticism and encourage self-censorship. So majority of the internet and what people are seeing this is a censorship against Muslims. Muslims have always been a minority in India. India has a population about 1.2 billion people, and out of that, roughly 200 million of them are Muslims. So while we are in a minority, it's a very vocal minority, and stuff like this doesn't take be taken lightly. That's why there is so much conflict, and obviously I'm not going to get into all of it now, but anyway, let's move on. Zubair's lawyer Kavalpreet Kaur said the journalist had been summoned for questioning in relation to a 2020 criminal investigation into his social media posts, from which he had been previously granted protection from arrest by the Delhi High Court. But when he responded to the summons, police arrested him for a separate case, she said. Kaur showed CNN in a police complaint in which a Twitter user accused Zubair of insulting Hindus on the platform in 2018 in a post about the renaming of a hotel after a Hindu god. She accused the authorities of not following proper procedure and of giving Zubair no notice. So once again, these sudden random arrests do happen in India, especially to very prominent people. Like it happened to, obviously I'm not going to get into all of it because we do have a lot of other topics to cover. But anyway, it is still a very prominent issue in India, where you just have, without notice, you just have these arrests, and they claim, all of these things. They don't give you a warning, they don't give you a fine, or they don't give you any form of previous notice. So yeah, earlier this month, Zubair has criticized and now suspended national spokesperson for the BJP, Nupur Sharma, for making derogatory comments about Islam's Prophet Muhammad, remarks that he had set off a diplomatic row. Yes, this was the thing. Nupur Sharma made some pretty retarded comments about her Prophet Muhammad, in my opinion. At least 15 Muslim majority nations condemned Sharma's remarks, several of them summoning India's ambassadors and describing the comments as Islamophobic. Among Zubair's recent social media posts and our videos, he claims show Hindu extremists giving hate speeches against Islam, a minority religion in India where nearly 80% of the people are Hindu. So, this is a pretty big thing that is going on in India. Now, this is a kind of like a lost cause scenario where you have both parties doing something wrong. Obviously, the BJP is making these hate speeches against Islam, and people are responding by tweeting and talking about this, and then they are arresting him for disrupting religious harmony. Well, who started it? You started it, and now you are deliberately shooting yourself in the foot, because not only are you looking more Islamophobic, you're looking even more stupid. So yeah, Zubair's arrest has outraged politicians, journalists, and news organizations who have demanded his release. Obviously, this is taken as censorship, because the BJP is trying to silence their critics, and news organizations are technically they have to be alert, because at any moment stuff like this can happen. It can absolutely destroy any form of journalist company or news organization that they are part of. All right. Excuse me. The Editors Guild of India, in a statement on Tuesday, said it was apparent that all news alert vigilance was resented by those who use disinformation as a tool to polarize society and rake nationalist sentiments. So obviously misinformation is obviously extremely wrong. I would argue that misinformation is the worst thing to ever exist in the entire world, and I've already talked about it multiple times, and a lot of people don't agree with me, but a lot of people do. So good on you for having a brain, because misinformation can just it just ruins the takes of what people have. If you're fed misinformation, you're going to base your decisions off that information, and it can be something from just related to a meal to something as big as voting. If you base your voting decisions on false information, that vote is false. You've just voted against what you think. You've just voted for false information. Misinformation is such a big problem, especially in a country like India, where people are they're just gonna say anything that they want, and that can be interpreted by different people who understand it differently, and that is spread everywhere, and you have this whole echo of different things, and you don't know which one is right, and it becomes so bad that news organizations and journalists, if they're talking about something, they're talking about it's like talking about two different things. That's how bad it gets here. Obviously, in the U.S., it's not that bad, but in India, especially when it spreads from person to person, it just dies. Any form of truth in it is just gone. So yeah, Shashi Tharoor, an MP from India's opposition Congress party, said that the arrest was an assault on truth. Yes, so you can argue if his arrest was spreading false information, but this is not false information. His entire brand is based on finding the truth, or whatever. Anyway, hey, so this is just such stupid, because the BJP's now turned a situation of silencing critics to just silencing someone who was talking about their religion, to silencing critiques, censoring people. That's how bad this becomes, and it is nobody's fault but the ruling party. India's few fact-checking services, especially All News, perform a vital service on our post-truth political environment, rife with disinformation. Tharoor wrote on Twitter on Monday, they debunk falsehoods, and whoever perpetrates them to arrest Zubair is assault on truth. He should be released immediately. The Committee to Protect Journalists on Monday called on Indian authorities to immediately and unconditionally release Zubair and cease harassing him in retaliation for his work. Now, obviously, in Indian prisons, you have no form of protections. Like, the police can treat you however they want, and that is something that, it's terrible. Obviously, if you go to a US prison and if you're alone in your cell, they're not necessarily going to do anything. They're just gonna, if once in a while they'll ask you questions. They'll tell you, hey, don't do this, hey, don't do that. In an Indian prison, they treat you, they will beat the shit out of you. In some cases, it just becomes a pure set of assault, and you can do nothing about that. So yeah, this is why it is he's harassing him in retaliation for his work. Obviously, the majority of the people in the police department are on the BJP side, and if they find someone unlike Zubair, they're going to harass them. They're going to, spread, tell all of this shit and that he's wrong and all of that. So yeah, this is such a huge issue and such a huge I'm already getting the fatigue. I'm already not being able to talk. This is such a huge, just stepping into your own grave that the BJP has done for no reason. They just turned silencing someone who was talking about the religion into silencing journalism, censoring critiques. And it is so stupid, and it's all nothing but their fault. So yeah, these are my thoughts on this entire situation. Once again, the article by CNN Business, it'll be in the description down below. Oh, it's been an hour and I'm already getting tired. I can't wait to see the state I'll be in 6 hours from now. Come on. Please work. Come on, it was a good start, and then it just died. This is not updating. Let me just completely close this. Okay, I think it's working now. Come on. Okay, I think that's working. Okay, it is working. Okay, so if I lower the volume of my mic and bring the mic closer to me, how does it sound? Okay. It sounds a lot better. Okay. Let's just lower that volume and I need to, instead of shouting from afar and then having the fan noise and my computer noise by getting picked up by a loud microphone, I just lower the volume on my mic and just talk a little bit closer. But anyway, what I was saying was, now we're going on to the world events, and oh my god, we have a lot of stuff to talk about and we only have 2 hours. Am I going to finish this, finish everything? Probably not, but we can do it if we start hurrying up. Obviously, we just covered this, and I hope that went smoothly. But anyway, Sri Lanka suspends fuel sales for 2 weeks as economic crisis worsens. So this the rise of fuel prices has affected everyone worldwide. It is. And obviously, people did expect that because a lot of gas prices are going up due to the loss of states. It's not just the Russian-Ukrainian war. It's a lot of different factors. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So this article is by the Guardian. I will have it down in the description down below. Why did I close Chrome? Actually, 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I just did a extremely good. What do you call it? Like backstretch? But anyway, okay. Our next topic is our next article is by The Guardian. I will have them in the description down below. That is extremely low in brightness. What the hell? See, this is why I hate the autofocus thing in Streamlabs, and I have to manually adjust the exposure rather than having it on autofocus. But I'll forget to increase the brightness and decrease the brightness. And obviously now I'm not doing face cams, but when I have to do like a face cam stream or anything, it's even worse. But anyway, gas-strapped Sri Lanka has announced a 2-week halt to all fuel sales except for essential services, and called for a partial shutdown as its unprecedented economic crisis deepened. For 2 weeks, every citizen of Sri Lanka or anyone who has a car cannot get fuel in Sri Lanka. That is honestly, like so shocking. Like, okay, the South Asian nation is facing its worst economic meltdown since gaining independence from Britain in 1948, and has been unable to finance even the imports of essentials since late last year. As fuel reserves hit rock bottom with supplies barely enough for just one more day, government spokesperson Bandula Gunawardana said that the sales ban was to save petrol and diesel for emergencies. He urged the private sector to let employees work from home as public transport ground to a halt. From midnight today, no fuel will be sold except for essential services like the health sector, because we want to conserve all the little reserves that we have, Gundawardena said in a pre-recorded statement. He apologized to consumers for apologies. We regret the inconvenience caused to the people. Holy shit. I mean, like, the entire transport has to come to a halt because now one person is going to be like, I mean, except for the people who drive economically or don't drive very little, or have a full tank of petrol and have it stored. Except for those people, nobody is going to be on the road. And that is shocking. Like, imagine for a pretty developed country having to cut off all means of transport for the public sector just because they have a fuel shortage. That is something that I never thought I'd see. But anyway, last week all government schools were shut down and stadiums. Oh wait, I didn't cover this. The country is also facing record high inflation and lengthy power blackouts, all of which have contributed to months of protests, sometimes violent, calling on the president Gotabaya Rajapaksa to step down. Last week, all government schools were shut down and state institutions operated with skeleton staff to reduce commuting and preserve oil. So skeleton staff is obviously staff that live there, not traveling like how we go to school or we go to college, just like how teachers come from home, and these people stay in the institution. So yeah, the state's sector shutdown was meant to end this week, but is now being extended till 10th of July. And 10th of July is more than a week. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 more days from now. 10 more days without fuel or without transport. I mean, there's so much that could go wrong that requires people to drive. And the ability to not get fuel is it's like unbelievable. Anyway, on Sunday, the government promised it will implement a token system to ration distribution of limited fuel stocks. Hell yeah. Limited fuel stocks. That's going to work. Anyway, there have been long queues outside the few pumping stations which still has supplies. Sri Lanka is seeking cheap oil from Russia and Qatar. Earlier this month, the United Nations launched an emergency response to the island's unprecedented economic crisis, feeding thousands of pregnant women who are facing food shortages. 4 out of 5 people in Sri Lanka have started skipping meals as they cannot afford to eat as a warning of looming dire humanitarian crisis with millions in need of aid, said by the UN. Sri Lanka defaulted on its 51 billion foreign debt in April, as in talks with the International Monetary Fund for a bailout. As you're joining us today from India, we have a small favor to ask. Tens of millions have placed their trust in the wait, what the? Go fuck off. No one wants to donate. Anyway, that's gonna be the end. Obviously, still shocking that you're not going to be able to buy fuel. You're not going to be able to drive or ride or go anywhere in a long distance. Obviously, cycles or walking you can go at short distances, but that does not affect only private transport. It affects public transport as well. So yeah, any yellow plate number vehicle is basically inoperable. Like, I'm pretty sure that there is nothing that you can do. The electric cars don't exist in Sri Lanka. Like, I bet there are the amount of people who have electric cars, you can count on your two hands. Okay, this is a pretty big economic crisis that Sri Lanka is going through, and yeah, these are my thoughts on this entire thing. Once again, article by The Guardian, it will be down in this description down below. So next up, we're talking this is a new record of how many times we have spoken about this. I think I've spoken about this on every single episode of the Aero show. So yeah, once again, oil prices rise for the 4th day on supply worries. Article by the Reuters. Let's take a look at that. I'm sure we are all excited to talk about the same stupid thing. All right. Oil supply, oil steady as concerns over weaker economy offset tight supplies. That made no sense, but believe me, it will. If this thing wants to zoom in, it's at one. Oh, it's lagging a lot. Okay. Oh no, that's a bit too much in my opinion. Might want to step down a little bit. What the hell? No, okay. And now that's too less. The site sucks. Okay. There we go. That's readable. New York on June 29th. Oil prices were a little changed on Wednesday, keeping up early gains as worries about a weaker global economy offset data, showing a weekly drawdown in the U.S. crude stockpiles, indicating supplies remain tight. So crude stockpiles is the stockpiles of crude oil, which is the oil that they drill from the bottom of the oceans. Brent futures for August delivery fell 24 cents or 0.2% to $117.74 a barrel by 1:03 p.m. EDT 17:03 GMT. The August contract will expire on Thursday, and the more active September contract was 15 cents at $113.83. The U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude for August fell for 22 cents or about 0.2% to $111.54. Both benchmarks gained about 7% over the prior 3 sessions on worries about tight supplies due to Western sanctions on Russia, but investors are also worried about a slowing economy that could dent energy demand as central banks hike interest rates to battle inflation. So yeah, due to the high amount of inflation that is going on in the United States, central banks and especially big name brands, banks like I'm trying to think of someone like Union Bank, like the World Bank, I think it's called, or the American Bank, or whatever. They are increasing interest rates on loans to combat inflation. So yeah, that's a thing. The U.S. Federal Reserve will now let the economy slip into a higher inflation regime, even if it remains raising interest rates to levels that could put growth at risk, Fed Jerome Powell said. So yeah, well, basically, there is a concern on oil supply, and yeah, there's that. Obviously, I'm not going to cover this whole article because it's really long and we have a lot of more stuff to cover. So yeah, I'll have this in the description down below if you want to continue reading it. Now we are done with the world slash recent events kind of news, and now we are on to the Russia-Ukraine news. Obviously, I've kind of cut down on this. I don't want to be talking about too much about the Russian-Ukrainian war, as it's a very case sensitive topic, and I don't want to discuss sensitive topics on this channel. But this one is on another level of, I think, wow factor it is. So our wonderful UK president said, Mr. Boris Johnson, the conservatives head or whatever, said that Putin would not have invaded Ukraine if he was a woman. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Well, why am I even covering this? You know what? No, we're not going to. Actually, no. We'll take a. No, actually, no. It'll drag on. So yeah, that's the Russian-Ukrainian war news. Now we're not gonna discuss much about it, and I'll try and get some better topics because now I realize I just don't want to talk about this. But anyway, I'll get better topics next time on Friday, so day after tomorrow. Okay, now we're on to entertainment, and now I think this is the I think this might be the biggest story of today's show, especially because I'm involved a lot of it. I did read about this. I've seen people talk about this. I've also spoken about this a lot. I've tweeted about it. So yeah, Bungie Studios, the studio that's behind how did I forget? Who is Bungie behind? Oh, okay, I'm fucking delusional. Is it Dark Souls? Am I dumb? Okay, nah. I think it is Dark Souls now that I think about it. Okay, so Bungie Studios, the company that made Dark Souls and now is owned by Sony, is suing a YouTuber who blatantly abused the copyright system on their behalf for almost $8 million US. So it turns out that that someone was impersonating in Bungie and filing fake copyright strikes to take down YouTube videos that were about Bungie. Now that's something that is pretty original, because usually it is the company itself, not someone who's impersonating. But anyway, we'll get into it. This article is by MySoulTop, and I'll have it in the description down below if it loads. So yeah, according to a significant, why the hell is it blurry? Is it? Oh yeah, it's in light mode. So if I turn on off the light mode, it'll look better. Yeah, there we go. See, this is why I have the show in light mode. I love dark mode with all my heart. I've used this Chroma extension called Dark Reader. I have dark mode on everything, on my phone, on my laptop. Even Windows here has dark mode. This theme that I have here is dark mode, and I hate not using it, but it looks so much better than having in dark mode. Just look at that. If I turn on dark mode, you see all of this halo that comes up. Obviously for me it is not visible, and on a brightly lit object it is not visible, but you can see that kind of halo and that little bit of light streaking going on. That is due to the camera, and due to the camera having a high exposure. But obviously it does, because it has a lot of white stuff on the screen and has to combat for that. It should look vivid or crisp. So yeah, according to a recent report by Kotaku, Bungie is suing a YouTuber for $7.6 million over alleged significant manipulation of the platform's copyright system. YouTube's copyright system has been heavily criticized for over the years for a number of reasons, largely due to how easy it is for a company or a person to take down content from a channel, sparking many public battles between creators and large corporations. However, this incident is something else entirely. A few months ago, several creators and even Bungie itself had dozens of videos hit with copyright strikes from someone claiming to work for the company. Of course, the studio is not going to attack its own video, so this prompted an investigation. In this, after collecting the necessary evidence, Bungie filed a lawsuit against a YouTuber named Nick Miner, also known as Lord Nazo, on the platform with an estimated value of $7.6 million. Now, just to be clear, this is poorly worded. It's like this dude is worth $7.6 million, but no, the lawsuit is for $7.6 million US dollars. The suit alleges that Miner went on a spree of issuing 96 copyright strikes against other creators to retaliate against Bungie after the studio took its channel off the air for using music from the soundtracks. Okay, so I was wrong. They don't make Dark Souls. Dark Souls is by Ubisoft. How am I this dumb? Okay, Destiny. They make Destiny. I've played Destiny. I used to like it. I don't really do now. I mean, obviously, I don't like many medieval roleplay type of games now. I'm sick and tired of playing it always. I mean, I played Elden Ring. I've played the entire Elder Scrolls series from Bethesda. I've played the Witcher series. I'm honestly sick of playing these medieval themed games. Like, obviously they are cool, and it's really cool. It is certainly better than something like Cyberpunk or Outer Lands, but no, it gets boring. Anyway, Miner has only about 3,000 subscribers. A YouTuber with 3,000 subscribers shouldn't have the ability to file 96 copyright claims against a company with a company that has an estimated value of over multiple billions of dollars. How is it still this broken after all these years, after countless of copyright abuse on this platform? It is still this prevalent and so easy to copyright strike any content, and I can understand why YouTube does it, because to be fair, a majority of these copyright claims might be true, and the people who are mostly the people who don't talk about this, because it is okay. I'm getting delusional. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, YouTube does have a lot of copyright takedown notices filed towards them, and in most cases they are true. But in every false case, that case becomes so vocal, because you're not going to complain on Twitter that a case filed against you was true and you actually did violate the copyright guidelines. But you're only going to talk about it when you didn't violate the copyright guidelines, and you got your video struck down for no reason. That's when you talk about it. So while that is it's a first world problem, still the way that YouTube just allows you to do 96 copyright strikes or 150, or a multiple companies allowed to just take down videos for no reason, Nintendo, it's like, it doesn't seem to me like a problem. It's just no attempts to solve the situation, and that is what is missing here. The only way to get your videos down is if you go on Twitter and start a hate raid against YouTube. That's when YouTube takes action. I am glad that I haven't had any form of issue, and that's probably just because I'm a small YouTuber and I don't have any targeted stuff against me. But it's still so stupid. that the only way that you can get your stuff solved is by going on Twitter and just ranting and be like, Team YouTube, please help. The YouTube chat doesn't barely works. So many creators have like, please, if you become a YouTuber, please don't use the Google chat. And at one point, if your channel is verified, or if it's past a certain milestone, or if it's got a certain amount of videos, or something, you will get a dedicated person assigned to your channel who works at YouTube, and they are equally as useless. They want to help, but unfortunately they can't. They don't have the tools, and most importantly, they don't have the permission. So yeah, anyway, Bungie made a public statement. We take this matter seriously and will invest the necessary time and resources to protect our community from malicious actors. That said, do not attempt to harass, attack, or make any move on this individual. Any direct disclosure outside of Bungie's legal team could undermine our ability to deal with harm done to our community, which is our top priority. They said in an official statement. This statement is extremely necessary, and it's really good that they say that do not attack or harass this individual. While they are a complete piece of shit and I wouldn't support or what they're doing, please do not harass or threaten or do anything. Do not even interact with this individual. Just talk about it like how I am. I'm not even naming them. I'm not bringing up their channel. I'm not doing anything like that. So yeah, upon confirmation of the agreement, Bungie will be an independent subsidiary of the SIE, managed by a board composed of the current CEO and President Pete Parsons and the rest of the studio's current management team. So they explained that Bungie will remain a cross-platform studio with the option to self-publish and reach players whenever they choose to play. And that is the end of this article. And I actually might be able to finish this. However, I need a quick break because I'm very tired. I can't do 3 of these things at once. I can't do 4 of these things once. Morning go to school, afternoon come back, morning go to college. What the hell did I say school? I'm from fucking college. Morning go to college, come back from college and go to work, come back from work to home around 6, and do the other stuff that I like to do, like I don't know, study a bit or develop websites or blah 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 blah, and then 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night do this. Like, doing all 4 of those things is not really something that I do. Usually I go to sleep around midnight, and it's half past midnight now. But anyway, I will power through it regardless of what it takes. But I do need a break. I'll be back in some time. Okay. I mean, I still have that fatigue of talking, and that's probably because of talking all day and then coming home and talking all night. Listen, I've always had this kind of incentive to do everything possible, like maximize the amount of time that I'm going to spend. I'll spend the whole day doing something. Like I never really take any kind of break, and I've never really done anything like that. I come to I come from college and just have a quick lunch and then immediately head off to work, and then I come home and do website developing or coding or anything like that, and then I spend the night doing this or creating content and doing stuff like that. And I've always thought of like stepping back a little bit. I don't necessarily have to do this. Obviously, school, college and work, I can't do anything like that. But when I come home, I've started thinking of obviously I'm not going to do anything. I've always had that need to do more. Like I have to do everything as possible. I have to develop websites. I have to make videos. I have to code and make apps. I want to do everything, and I never have enough time. And the only thing I've sacrificed is sleep. And people are like, oh, 4.5 hours of sleep is not enough. You need 8 hours of sleep. And I proved them wrong. But I wonder for how long. I'm like, is it only gonna be until my young adult life, and after that, is it gonna be completely downhill, or what? Anyway, who cares about that? I mean, I care because I'm almost half asleep now. But anyway, okay, let's sit up straight and let's move on to the other big event that happened the last week was VidCon, and lots of the new YouTubers went. Obviously, we had the TikTok stars like Charlie D'Amelio who went to VidCon. We had the entire Minecraft YouTuber or kind of like group that went. Like most of the British YouTubers did go. We had a lot of commentators. We had a lot of different people from different, kind of what do you call it? Different categories on YouTube. And there are a lot more people. Obviously, VidCon did get cancelled for the last 2 years because of the pandemic, and they try to make the event happen, and what they end up causing is a massive COVID outbreak in Anaheim. So it was not only YouTubers, like big YouTubers like James Charles or something who got hit by COVID. A lot of people got hit by COVID, and those people go home, and they're effectively spreading the virus into infinity, because those people are going to spread it to their families, to their friends. And yeah, it's just a really unfortunate thing. Obviously, I didn't go because I live on the other side of the world, and I'm not gonna go just to get signatures. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna go there to sign, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, VidCon 2022. So this article is by the Rolling Stone. I'll have it down in the description below. Shut up! No one cares. There's yeah. How much do I have to zoom in? Okay, there we go. Oh, you piece of shit. Okay, you know what? No, screw this. We'll read it out. I'll read a different article. Luckily, I have two articles. Oh, maybe I checked it in like incognito and it didn't show up. I usually check all of these in incognito just because I don't want to just do stuff. But anyway, is this a prank? Did I just? Okay, you know what? No, we'll open it in a new incognito window and don't have to deal with that shit. See, here it is viewable. Alright. Now, I'm not gonna read all of this. And now I'm thinking of ending the show early at around 1. I need to stop hitting the mic. Okay, let's just go to the stop. Bitcoin 2022 was a candy colored. Obviously, it's Pride themed because it's still Pride month. It's actually the end of Pride month almost. Host, yeah. Oh, will you shut up and go away? Where is the X? What the fuck? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm blind. But anyway, candy colored, COVID spreading, content creating extravaganza. This week on. Okay. After 2 years of hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, VidCon, the annual convention for fans, creators, and online platforms in the industry, transitioned to the Anaheim Convention Center just last week in Los Angeles, but it looked a little bit different than usual. For starters, the ear-piercing shrieks of fans lined up to meet their favorite creators were just a little quieter, with 50,000 attendees as opposed to 2019 75,000. So a lot of roughly 2/3 of the people came, and I most of it is still due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and obviously that time it wasn't that much of a big deal, that much of a problem to travel. But anyway, further, unlike VidCons of years past, some attendees were wearing masks. Some, that is the problem. Albeit an infinitesimally small number among the hordes of preteens angling for photo ops with their favorite creators. Days later, several attendees of VidCon, which required proof of vaccination or a recent COVID test for entry, began reporting on social media that they had tested positive for COVID after the event. No shit, Sherlock. Anyway, perhaps most importantly, however, TikTok had replaced YouTube as the main sponsor of the event. Two of the biggest creators on TikTok, Charlie D'Amelio and Kaby Lame, were to appear at the event for the first time, with Lame outpacing the D'Amelio that weekend as the most followed TikToker on the platform. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this. Kaby Lame actually surpassed Charlie D'Amelio and is now the most followed TikToker on the platform. I mean, I'm honestly surprised. I thought both of these they're not gonna grow much after this. They've both reached around 130 million followers, but they're still growing. And now Kaby Lame surpassed Charlie D'Amelio. It's like actually surprising. I'm not like downplaying Charlie D'Amelio and talk like, oh, she fell off or something, but it's really surprising. Indeed, previous attendees, best known for his building large following on YouTube, such as Shane Dawson and David Dobrik and other members of his vlog squad, were not in attendance at all. Obviously, I forgot to cover the David Dobrik lawsuit. Oh shit, I forgot to cover that. That was actually pretty recent. Actually, you know what? We'll cover it a little bit later when we have some kind of update on it. I feel like TikTok has done a lot more for this than VidCon in 2019. There were more hours for all YouTubers and shows coming out that year. And this year is just about a bunch of TikToks on the board, says 13-year-old Nino from Las Vegas, who runs a gaming channel, blah 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 blah. The move to TikTok to a main sponsor was a bit of changing for the guards, to be honest with you, says Lawrence Slipper, Vice President for Corporate Development at Jelly Smack, a global creator company that has an industry lounge. There's a lot of different quotes here. Anyway, some creators express consternation when the fact that Bitcoin appeared to be a less creator-centric and more aimed at targeting an increasingly younger audience. That is true, actually. So yeah, there are a lot of different stuff related to like experiences, all of that, and just basic point is it was a massive COVID outbreak, and it's just going to get worse and worse every day. And I just wish the best for everyone who got infected by this. Okay, once the article was by the Rolling Stone, and this was also by the Rolling Stone, and that is it for the entertainment category of the show. Now we are on to the technology. I think technology should have come before, or it should have been technology, gaming, and then entertaining. Okay, I think this is just gonna be a 2 hour show because I might be able to finish this. Oh, it's 12:41. If I manage to sleep by 1, I'll get 5 hours of sleep and I'll be really fucking happy in the morning. Anyway, okay, moving on to technology. Airbnb, the famous American kind of like renting app where people can rent rooms that are part of other houses, and they can earn money from that. So yeah, they ban parties and events from around the world. So obviously when you book an Airbnb, that's depending on the Airbnb. Yeah, it might be different, but you can have parties or host some kind of events in that house or any form of property that is listed on Airbnb. Now they have banned that, obviously due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but it's kind of pretty late now because it's been 2 years. But hey, any change is good change, and maybe this one's a bit too much. I think it's gonna generate a lot of backlash. Obviously, my internet has become really slow. I have gigabit up and down. How is it this slow? Okay, so yeah, Airbnb permanently bans parties and events from around the world. This article is by BBC. I will have it in the description down below. Airbnb has permanently banned parties and events at homes on its platform after a temporary measure during the pandemic proved popular with hosts. The firm said the rule has become much more than a public health measure since it was introduced in August of 20. They introduced it during the pandemic to have parties. All right. It developed into a bedrock community policy to support our hosts and their neighbors, said the San Francisco headquartered firm said. However, it also removed a limit on how many people can stay at homes. Airbnb said in a statement that the number of complaints about parties dropped by 44% since the measure was first introduced. Exceptions to the global ban may be only for specialty and traditional hospitality venues in the future, it added. So basically, what they're saying is since they banned parties, the amount of complaints dropped by 44%, and they might add it in the future for special and traditional reasons. Don't know what traditional, maybe Christmas or any kind of celebration ceremony, but anyway, speciality it'll probably be related to like a huge party. That why would you want to host a huge party at an Airbnb? Like, why? Anyway, Airbnb also said it will remove a limit on the number of people using its listings are allowed to accommodate at any one time. It previously imposed a 16% limit to occupants because of concerns over the spread of COVID-19. This firm said several types of larger homes are capable of comfortably and safely housing more than 16 people, from castles in Europe to vineyards in the US to large beachfront villas in the Caribbean. Removing this cap is meant to allow those hosts to responsibly utilize the space in their homes while still complying with our ban on disruptive parties. It said. So they banned parties, but increased the amount of people that can be in an Airbnb. That's kind of a bit contradicting, but I don't know if of a 16% party that I've been to in a while. But anyway, the company started putting restrictions on parties in 2019. It banned open invite parties and so-called chronic party houses that were a nuisance to neighbors. I mean, obviously, they're going to be a nuisance if you host a party in a normal residential neighborhood. That's nothing unordinary. So I don't know what they're on about. But anyway, during the pandemic, Airbnb introduced an indefinite ban on parties in the best interest of public health. More than 6,600 guests have also been suspended from using the platform last year for breaking the rules. This new and long-term policy was enacted to help encourage and support community safety, the Airbnb said. We look forward to sharing updates in the coming weeks and months on our efforts to complement our community policies on parties. It added. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So yeah, basically Airbnb and the ability to host parties. Which why would you host party on an Airbnb? I still don't understand. But if it's popular enough that people are that they're willing to ban it, so I don't know. Once again, article by the BBC. It'll be in the description down below. And next up, two more topics, and three more topics. Hopefully, if I just chew through these two, hopefully I can finish the show by 1 and then be in bed because I'm fucking tired. You know what? I think I need water. I'll just go get more water and come. Okay. I think that hopefully that's enough water to make that fatigue. Obviously, I haven't done this show for a week, and that's why this fatigue is building up. Actually, no, it's because the whole day I don't talk, and then suddenly I start talking. And that time it wasn't that bad, but now I talk the whole day, and now I have to talk the whole night. Okay, moving on. Our next topic, Firefox's new privacy feature strips URLs about tracking parameters. So Firefox, is the web browser by Mozilla, and now their main agenda, it's been for a long time, their main agenda is to make browsing more private. They have, blocked cookies, which track your online information and send it to the website owner for them to, I don't know, add more or more scarily accurate ads that you might like, or there are a bunch of different things that people do with this, and we don't want that information to be given. I mean, obviously I don't care. I'm mostly safe on the internet. I use a VPN. I don't have much of my browsing history on. I have all my search and history privated, and well, I don't have a webcam or any form of. I'm pretty smart to know that. Okay, I shouldn't say I'm pretty smart. I'm pretty well. I know a lot about this, like how to stay safe on the internet, and so I don't really care if about private browsing, but most of us aren't, and a lot of people do care about their privacy. Obviously, we don't have any problem giving it to a company like Google or a company like Microsoft, but we do have a problem when it's accidentally or deliberately given to someone else who could use that information against us. Like, for example, knowing our location can lead to doxing, knowing our email ID or what apps we use can lead to spamming or blah 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 blah. So that's why Firefox is, pushing that privacy agenda a lot, and they want to, make sure that all of these cookies are blocked. All of there's no form of tracking that is going on. Now they obviously can't do that 100%. Occasionally, something might slip in, but most of it is you are protected. It's basically like incognito, but slightly more useful, I think. So yeah, I mean it works enough that I do have it downloaded, and there are tons of different browsers like this. Obviously, the most popular one is Firefox. I think second is Brave, third is Opera. So yeah, this article is by the bleepingcomputer.com. I'll have it in the description down below. Oh, new Firefox privacy feature that strips URLs of tracking parameters. Oh wait, let me zoom in. Mozilla Firefox 102 was released today with a new privacy feature that strips parameters from URLs that are used to track you around the web. Numerous companies, including Facebook, Marketo, Analytics, and HubSpot, utilize custom URL query parameters to track clicks on links. So basically, when you click on a link, it sends that, and wherever that link is. For example, if you clicked on a Facebook post if you click a link that is on a Facebook post, Facebook is going to record it and see how many times how many people have clicked that link, or how many times that link has been clicked. So yeah, for example, Facebook appends a FBCLID query parameter to outbound links to track links, with an example of one of these URLs given below. So obviously we have this identifier right here, and this will record what you're what you're clicking on. So with the release of Firefox 102, Mozilla has added the new query parameter stripping, which automatically strips various query parameters used for tracking down URLs when you open them, whether that be by clicking on a link or simply pasting the URL into the address bar. It works like that also. So one thing you can avoid this is, obviously this might not work for every website, but in certain cases, if you just copy the necessary information, like for example youtube.com / just the 11 character /v / the 11 characters and nothing after that, the site will still load normally. This is different. This is obviously varied from website to website, and I'm just talking about YouTube right here. So once enabled, Mozilla Firefox will now strip the following tracking parameters from URLs when you click on links or paste URLs into the address bar. So if you use any service by Analytics and you're clicking on a link, it might have any of these attributes on it, which the Firefox browser will remove. If you're using Drip, it's going to use this. If you're going to use Aero, HubSpot, Marketo, or Facebook, FBCLID I think is the most popular one. At least I have heard of it. These ones I don't really use that much, but Facebook, yes, I do have heard of them. To illustrate how the SUES Bleeping computer has created a test page containing links to example.com with the above tracking parameters. So if we go on this and we just click on this, so if we go to this, it's going to show this. But if I open up Firefox, and hopefully it's not set to open a new tab with an Excel sheet on it. Okay, actually no, it's not worth like demonstrating it. Like, you know what I'm talking about. So basically, it's another way to stop trackers. So yeah, and here's how to enable it. Just to go on settings, privacy, and security, and then change enhanced tracking protection to strict. So how you do it is, I should have actually, we're not going to demo it now because I have to update Firefox, but this I can show you how to do it. Obviously Chrome has privacy features that we use, but since Chrome is Google, and most of us don't trust it, since most people are going to trust Firefox, I think they have a pretty decent reputation. So yeah, Firefox is currently shut up. Okay. So yeah, there's that. You can also do it through the about config. Usually it'll be Chrome /config, but in Firefox case it's about. And yeah, there is that. I mean, here's my thoughts on it. It's pretty cool. Oh, it might not work for every website, but it does work for Facebook services at least. So there's that, and all those other ones that